Hello, hello, hello. Greetings, beautiful souls. I am Alicia Barney Matahari, the Heart Whisperer. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. And if you're a newcomer or a drop in, it is wonderful to have you here today. Today, I'm doing a collective message that I was guided to do on what is being hidden at this time. So, with that being said, take only what resonates and leave the rest. First up, you have the queen of what is hidden herself, the high priestess, the master of intuition. She's the runes on this card, and she's also holding the moon. Moon energy is significant of intuition, of the depths. It also is associated with fears and illusions and the unconscious. And I feel what's being hidden from you, or what you're not directly seeing, is how much you're directly seeing. Yes, we're in the paradox land, paradoxal clock. What you don't see is what your soul knows, what you feel, what you perceive, what your human self struggles to wrap its logical mind around. But you can feel it in your fingers. I'm hearing that song by Wet 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 from Four Weddings and a Funeral. I feel it in my fingers, I feel it in my bones. Love is all around me, and so the feeling grows. It's written in the wind, it's everywhere I go. This is you. That is your frequency right now, collective. This is really beautiful. They're showing me now also a fish in the ocean. The fish doesn't know that it's in the ocean because it's so natural and so ubiquitous. The fish cannot understand what it's like not to be in ocean. What you're not seeing is how deep, how expanded your consciousness has become, and how tuned in, tapped in, turned on you are. To borrow a phrase from my good friend Abraham Hicks. I do not know Abraham Hicks personally, but on a collective level, I've got their 5D digits. We have the Two of Voices. The Two of Voices, that is the Two of Swords. And we have two figures here. We go from the singular to the pair. You may have been in a time when you felt like your hands were bound. You didn't have the information to make a decision. You didn't have the decision resources available to walk through that door, or to go down that path, or know which path to go down. But what you're not seeing is you were never off your path. This was just traveling without moving. This was you going deep and expanding. But it was like you were, instead of walking the path, you were bringing the path to you. It's reminding me of that concept, which is not just a concept, but it's you embodying this concept that all time exists now, at all times. Time is a linear thing that we have constructed in our human minds. It's not really real, it's an illusion. And I'm seeing that phrase, disillusionment. And in human lexicon, we describe disillusionment as something of a bad thing. But what is better than to see the truth? And what you're not seeing is that you're an embodiment of the truth on such a deeper, profound, visceral level that it's so natural to you that you are an enigma to other people. They may not be able to see it directly, but they can feel it in your presence. And I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people share their secrets with you, or share their hurts or their shames or their celebrations with you, because intuitively, whether they can recognize it or not, they know that you're a safe person. I'm also feeling that that is not so much reciprocated for you, and you're one person, but you know that you're tapped into Atman. You know that you are an avatar of the divine. You know that God lives in all of us, and you're able to see that spark not only in yourself but in others. And I feel like you're very connected to your star family as well, and the angelic realm and all the realms while you were in this seemingly stationary position, while potentially other people were building of the earth. And I'm hearing that phrase, do not build your kingdom on the earth, build it first in your heart. And from that, good things will flow and you will be known by your fruits. I'm just seeing you as caring about, like, not being materialistic, caring about matters of the heart, but not in a self-sacrificing way anymore, which you may have been in the past, because that might be what you came here to master and overcome and to teach. And the best way to teach is to teach by experience, to live it. And I feel like that's what you've done. Wow. You have the muse of inspiration. The muse of inspiration. We have the moon here again. The muse of inspiration is the King of Wands. The King of Wands, he is the master of creativity. He's a card of leadership. And irrespective of gender, that it's that level of mastery that you're able to create from nothing. You may have had, I'm getting phoenix, I'm seeing a phoenix. You may have had to start over many times, but I'm also hearing that phrase or that concept. You can take everything I have. You can take everything I own. You can take everyone I love from me. And what have you got? Nothing. And I have everything, because you are connected to that cosmic love, that eternal flame that others are seeking. You're it. A queen of emotions, which is the Queen of Cups. Another card of intuition. I'm seeing a swan in my mind, and a swan on the top is this beautiful, graceful, but underneath, they're paddling. Underneath the surface, people want to get inside your mind. They want to get inside your heart. They want to know how you do it. How do you create? Cups energy is also a card of creativity, but it's that dreamy kind of creativity. We've got the moon energy represented again in this card. Emotions is associated with the moon. The moon also is representative of Cancer, which is representative of Mother, which reminds me of the divine feminine. The moon also rules over the breast. I'm hearing mother's milk. So you have allowed yourself to accept mother's milk of the universe. And you have been able to allow, you couldn't create this. I'm seeing a building site now. And you couldn't, when you create a garden, you can put down some infrastructure, but you can't force it to grow. You can just create the conditions so that it flourishes. And that is what you have done internally, spiritually, and even in the 3D. If it hasn't broken ground yet, it will. And others may project onto you for being, let's say, a late bloomer, or for not going after the things, may even consider you to be dreamy, away with the clouds, and a little bit flaky, because they don't understand you. They don't understand how you build. You're much more of Knight to King of Pentacles than you are of, let's just force it. That attraction of energy over that push energy. I'm going to tell the divine, I'm going to tell the universe how I want it, what it looks like, and how it's going to be. And that kind of works short term, but it's not lasting, it's not enduring, and it's not fulfilling. And you're taking the fulfilling path. And what I mean by that is that you are you're more interested in connected into what gets you out of bed in the morning, Wands energy. What is that spiritual spark that lights you up, your own frequency? What moves your heart? What gives you that softer, creative drive, that flow? And with those two together, cups and fire together, you've got steam. And think of the change that happened in humanity when the steam engine was discovered. We had the Industrial Revolution. It's like you're having your own internal spiritual revolution, evolution. And now it's going to break surface if that's what you choose to do and if that's what you want, but it will look and feel more in line with what your soul wants rather than what society projects onto you as being the markers of success. I'm seeing like a very strong spiritual ascension, upgrade, expansion, and a knowingness of, and maybe not that your brain can really consider. You know, when you start to learn to drive, this is what I'm being shown. When you're starting to learn to drive, the first thing you have to do is you have to get behind the wheel of the car. You have to figure out what all these instruments are. You have to get over the fear of other drivers on the road, because there's a lot of crazy drivers on the road. Then you drive in different kind of weathers. You have to know when to change lanes and how to change lanes and how to merge with another lane. All those things, how to parallel park, how to reverse into a parking spot, all those things. And then you have to pass your test. I'm seeing you having gone through, like, learning the techniques, but it's so second nature to you now that you're just really able to navigate on all of your psychic gifts, and you just naturally defer to whatever one is appropriate at that time. It is very much don't even want to say second nature to you. It's very much natural for you. And now we've got the 10 of Voices, which is the 10 of Swords. And in the traditional Rider-Waite deck, you see a person that looks like they're left for dead. They're face down and they've got all these swords in their back, and it can signify painful endings. And what are endings? Endings are an opportunity for a new beginning. Something is over, something is done. You could have been betrayed 10 times. But in this card, see how she is heart open to the cosmos. It's like she has turned each one of those betrayals, those painful endings, into transmuted that energy, alchemized that energy into something beautiful, maybe even a new gift. And what is more of a gift to yourself than being able to tap into that beautiful energy, no matter what is going on around you, that you can find that moment of peace. You can find that moment of surrender. You can find that moment of, I'm going to sacrifice the resentment. I'm going to sacrifice the anger. I'm going to sacrifice the things that keep me stuck, the things that keep me bound, the things that stop me from moving forward. I'm going to sacrifice all that up for the highest and greatest good. I am going to drop into my intuition, into my heart space, and I'm going to travel the realms. And I'm going to see what's available to me, and I'm going to start anew and create what is of my heart, what is of my soul, and what is who I am. I am just going to continually regenerate and express because I can and because I am. I am the two most powerful words in the English language. How beautiful. And I always see this 10 of Swords as being a victory, like of overcoming. And you could have had to overcome mental projections, ways of thinking, because the Voices, 2 of Voices and 10 of Voices, Voices rules the mind, rules the mental space. And the mental space is very connected to the emotional space, because if you focus on the things which hurt you, and you're not able to raise your perspective to see it from spirit's eyes, to see it through the eyes of compassion, then that can keep you really stuck in a ruminating space that really hurts your heart. And I'm seeing this as a victory. You've really just accepted. I'm hearing the serenity prayer now. God, give me the courage to change the things that I can, the wisdom to know the difference. I know I'm butchering it. You can put it in the comments if that is for you. Next, we've got the page of inspiration. You've learned that you're only responsible for yourself. The page of inspiration. You are full of creative energy and potential at this time. You're at a stage where something in your world, and maybe it's a lot of things in your world, maybe you're just in a beginner's stage of a new stage. And I'm seeing what I'm seeing is a video game like Mortal Kombat or Tekken, one of those fighting games from back in the day. Um, and now you're on a different kind of game. I'm seeing you having to fight a lot of battles, maybe fight through 10 different karmic lessons, fight through 10 different people, fight through 10 different, take it how it resonates. And now you're at a new stage, and you're at a page stage where you're coming at things from a new perspective, a new level of consciousness. And there's a beginner's mindset with it. And there is new things to learn. And isn't that wonderful? Because if there was nothing left to learn, what would be the point? I'm seeing that they're showing me that concept that what are we? Like, we're all consciousness getting curious about itself. That's the way they're showing it to me. Curiosity, they say curiosity killed a cat, but curiosity, it neutralizes. It's an expansive energy. It's like, what can I do with these resources? I wonder how I can use this energy in a way that gets me closer to home. We're all just walking each other home. How can I tap into that creative consciousness that is available to us all? I can only do my own push-ups. I can only think my own thoughts, but I can choose to see others where they are, and I do not need to let them hurt me or take advantage of that which I'm not willing to give. Beautiful. Now we've got our first pentacle on the board. Two of materials. Two of materials goes from singular to a couple, to the idea of two. Resources may be coming in to actually bring all of this into a new stage of growth, something that you want to build on this earth. Maybe it's a community. Maybe it's a book you want to write to share what your experiences that will help others heal in similar circumstances, or even apply what you've been through to their own circumstances. It's a card. This always reminds me of the infinity symbol. So always knowing that resources are available, no matter how much people may try to blind my vision or knock me off balance. She's standing on what looks like a crystal or a diamond. And how is a diamond formed? Under pressure. But it's resilient and it's strong, and it is Queen, King, Empress, Emperor of the diamonds. A diamond, it takes a laser to cut a diamond. It is so, so strong. And what is laser? Laser is super duper focused light. And light is the basic building blocks of everything. We're all just in a vibration universe. But you are able to, and it's giving me light codes. I feel like your light codes are just effervescent and bubbling and awakening, and that's what I see is hidden from you. It's so microscopic and it's so natural to you that your brain is not even seeing it. Wow, you have the Muse of Emotions, which is the King of Cups in this deck. Again, you've got a couple here. You've got two figures. I feel like you could be meeting, some of you at least could be meeting your divine counterpart. If you're not meeting your divine counterpart and you're already in a relationship, and this applies to you in that realm, you could be experiencing a deep, profound expansion in your relationship, a depth. I'm hearing the word inner space, and it's reminding me of the movie Supergirl back in the day. And there was always Superman, but then eventually they made a Supergirl movie, and she came from inner space, not outer space, which is kind of interesting. It's a really, really old movie, and it's not great, but you get the point. But also, it could be that you're expanding. For some of you, it could be that you're expanding your psychic realms. And what I mean by that is you're definitely having like a huge awakening in consciousness, and that's what you're not seeing. But I feel like what you might start to see is that being connect. I've been watching a bit of Stephen Greer stuff, and he does the CE5. So maybe you will be connecting with the CE5 group, for example, and then maybe you'll start experiencing some phenomena. But phenomena is not the point. Phenomena is just a demonstration, but you don't need phenomena. I feel like you're beyond phenomena. That's just kind of like, it satisfies our ego. If you were to do that at a level, you'll be there where you're going to welcome star family. You're going to welcome extraterrestrials. You're going to welcome ETs, because you're like, I come in peace and you are safe in my presence. You wouldn't be doing it from an egoic perspective to say, yeah, I saw a phenomena. That's what I'm getting from this as well. 9 of voices. So you have the 9 and the 10 of voices. This is signifying to me that, again, it's reiterating that like you might have really had to overcome some mental challenges, that ruminating, you could have been criticized very severely, or maybe you have a raging inner critic yourself that you had to learn how to overcome. It's actually giving complex PTSD and things like that, where you're constantly working out and people pleasing. You're constantly working out every iteration, because there's this must seek safety. But I feel like you've overcome that, and now you're able to, when you go to sleep, your dreams are incredibly enlightening, rich. It doesn't necessarily mean that every time you go to sleep you have this amazing dream where you're like falling in love, or you're all the things that we think we would want in human life, that's what shows up in your dreams. It doesn't mean that at all. It just means that when you're getting information from your dreams, you're getting downloads. It's teaching you about yourself. It's teaching you about, you're having connections. You're visiting on the astral plane with other people. You're visiting on the astral plane with soul family. You're learning how to protect yourself. You're learning about others. You're getting information. Information is freedom. And you're feeling in that bound up, not able to move space. You've had freedom. And now it's not that you're being plagued with nightmares and anxiety and fears. Now you're being master in that space, and it's only getting more and more and more. And it doesn't mean that you'll ever be done, because once you're done, what are you? You're back at enlightenment. And even angels are not God. God is God. We are all aspects of that, but it's on the up and up and up and expansion and ascension path. Huge consciousness expansion is what I'm feeling for you. And 7 of emotions, 7 of cups. That can speak to confusion. That can speak to illusions. It can also speak to options. Now that you've settled your mental space, you're able to make decisions that are in alignment with what your soul wants, your own frequency, who you truly are, what drives you, what makes you come alive, what lights you up in the heart space and in the soul space. and in the physical space. Like, where do you get tingles? Where does your heart dance? Where do you feel like you want to just, that feeling of gratitude where you can't wipe a smile off your face, because it's that joy that you can't get from buying something, that you can't get from consumerism. Just that pure intrinsic moments of joy. And I feel like they're more and more, and they're closer together. And you have an innate ability to drop into that space no matter what's happening around you. And of course, there will be challenges. And of course, there will be people who don't like that and who will try to knock you off balance, who will try to block things for you, who will try to project onto you and bind you, who will try to get you into your head, who will try to create endings for you because they want what you have. They don't want what you have, they want what you are. And they have to do that ascension work themselves. And to finish off your reading collective, we have the moon card itself. Wow. Again, we've got another 9 here. So that's 2 9s. 1 and 8 is the moon card, and that breaks down into a 9. And that is signifying, again, you're really at the tail end of a cycle where you were really overcoming mental limitations, mental prisons that were put around you, mental bounds that were put around you that could have been built up through lifetimes, that you're clearing ancestral blocks in your DNA. Like, I'm seeing you actually just being able to go into your mind and like being able to see your DNA, being able to see your fascia, being able to just like breathe love into this vessel, this vehicle that we have been gifted with. And I'm seeing that as being what you don't see. It is so natural, and it is so easy for you compared to other people. The reason you don't maybe have a $12 million home is because you're thinking, why would I have a $12 million home? Whereas somebody else might think, look at me, I've got a $12 million home. And that's their mark of success. But that's not your mark of success. You're very in tune with what works for you. You're very in tune with who you want to be. And I see this really impacting your relationships. I'm seeing you having relationships that are balanced, that are reciprocated, where your heart is open, their heart is open, both of you coming together in good faith, whether it be your life partner, whether it be kids that you have, whether it be friendships and communities that you're in, or whether it be who you interact with in business, whether it's a boss, a subordinate, or a business partner, or a colleague. I just see you being able to attract more of the people who will come to you with reciprocity and good faith, because you're through this time of just battling. I'm not saying the battles are going away. You know what's happening in the world out there as Earth is going into this ascension into 5D. The delta is getting larger. The polarizations are getting larger. It's those who want to cling to the past are clinging with claw marks. They're holding on for dear life. And those who want to ascend are saying, come on, it's fine. But you've been through your shadow work. You know what it's like to face yourself. You know what it's like to face your fears. You know what it's like to look at the parts of you that you were ashamed of, that you didn't like, that you neglected, that you pushed down. And you know what it's like to face the actions that you've taken, the feelings that you've had, the thoughts that you've had, and to alchemize them into energy to move you forward. And with that comes this, I'm feeling just this motherly love, this immense compassion. This pink moon is really reminding me of the higher heart, very Neptunian, Venusian. And they say Neptune is the higher octave of Venus. Just this incredibly loving, but also incredibly loving, but also fertile, abundant quality to it, colorful quality to it. Beautiful, beautiful collective. What you don't see is the expansion in consciousness that you've had, and it permeates your everyday. And that's due to how you have shown up and how you have decided to walk through your life, irrespective of what you have received, experienced, good, bad, indifferent, what you would like to have happened, what you wouldn't like to have happened. It's how you played the cards you were dealt. So beautiful. I am sending you so much love, collective. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. And I hope to see you in another reading and that you'll consider subscribing if you're not already subscribed. Bye.